Hello there, Lynx here, and welcome to Crystalline, which I actually play on that new monitor because my old one died out. Old one which was a secondary, now the old one that was a first is a secondary, the new one is a first one, so yeah. I'm actually recording this for the second time because, you know, the settings in Streamlabs got messed up. As always, when you do something like change some kind of equipment or whatever. That's how great of a software it is. Heavy air quotes on great, of course. Yeah, hopefully it will be good. And it's actually also the fourth time where I make the beginning, because twice I managed to shut down the recording because I clicked enter to go with the text and it didn't go. Okay, enough of my rambling. It's already a very bad beginning. Hopefully the rest of the video will be acceptable. Let's see what's happening. Next morning, we meet Gingelan, bright and early, downstairs of the inn. He leads us towards the city exit and soon we return to familiar roads. Our path takes us along the beach for a short while. The white sands glitter beneath the sunlight and filter annoyingly into our shoes. Eventually we return to flat dirt roads and travel late into dusk. When the sun is finally creeping below the horizon, we stop a bit of the main path into a grove of trees to make camp. After the fire's lit, the savory perfume of dinner makes my stomach growl. We all gather together as we serve out the food. Kara sits close to Zach during the dinner, her arm brushing against his whenever she takes a bite of food. I catch Zach glancing at her every once in a while before quickly looking away. Leanna scoots closer to the Gingelan. Oi.
So, Gingelan, can you tell us some more stories?
Yeah. He chuckles.
Oh, I don't know.
Leanna squirms.
Please!
Please! She moves even closer, her eyes glitter with kind of excitement I usually associate with small children. I mean, I guess she grew up with his stories? Something like that?
We'd love to hear one.
Amelia takes a tiny bite and then nods.
Perhaps one which is not as widely known.
And he's like, that would cost you 10 gold. I'd be like that. Leanna beams at Gingelan.
Well, if that's what you wish, how can I refuse?
There's a heavy pause. After a moment, Gingelan takes a deep breath.
I loved a shadowcaster.
You did? His voice was low and sad.
I loved how her giggles shimmered with silver. I loved her moonlit hair, her star-flecked fingers.
Right. I already like her as well. You know, shadow magic. Silver hair. Let's go.
Together we wished, we teased, we played. She covered me in twilight, in soft murmurs and rain.
I mean, come on. Anime girls with silver or white hair. Hell yeah.
I'll show you, my sweetling, she whispered, she soothed. My friends and their shadow magic are just misunderstood. But, little by little, her mind turned to dark flowers and violent meteor showers. Shadows poured from her mouth. She spat, she swore, she roared, splattering me with ink, with oil and ore. The night was too strong, too much underneath her skin. It flared from her fingers, her shoulders, her rings. She tore apart our friendship, our home, our dreams. Surely, her friends, dishonest and cruel, surely she had me fooled.
Gingelan pauses. For a moment, I'm not sure if he's going to continue.
I joined them and discovered too late the mistake I had made. They had been wrong, not her. She was trying to save them, to keep their magic pure. But the shadows, they whispered, they crawled and lingered. She fell into my arms, light as mist. The power wreathed about her neck, her chest, her wrists. As she sobbed, she whimpered. Please, take me with you. We'll cuddle in our garden of auroras. We'll build a house of starlight, of everything lovely and bright. But there was nothing I could do. She faded into twilight, into smoke and wind. I'm left with nothing but the memory of her left on my skin.
The cries can be heard in the background. There's a thick silence, the wave of history still hanging in the air. The moonlight casts over Gingelan's silver hair and beard, bringing out the dark shadows across his face. The fire crackles and pops. Finally, Gingelan bows his head.
Thank you for listening to my tale.
Leanna's eyes shimmer with tears.
That was so beautiful.
Gingle smiles, but it doesn't quite reach his eyes.
Thank you.
But it was also so sad.
That was heartbreaking. It was okay. This Weasley old man using poetry to steal my girl! How dare he! First one, right? My heart caves in my chest. Wow, that's such a horrible thing to have to go through. I tried to imagine watching someone I love slowly deteriorate into madness. It couldn't have been easy, and then not having the power to be able to help or stop it. My heart goes out to whoever it was. It was beautiful written. Gingan looks up at me. His smile is sad, small and soft, and I think I see gratitude in his eyes. Does this story have to do with him? He nods.
Thank you.
Soon after we finish eating, Gingan leaves to refill his canteen with water from a nearby stream. Leanna and Amelia go out into the field, but I'm not certain what it is they drink. Zack and Kara clean up and seem very content to do without my help. I actually feel a little chilly. Maybe I should get a jumper or whatever. Ah.
Oh, that looks fun.
What does? What? I look up. Gingelan is standing there, retying his canteens to his belt. What does? He nods towards Leanna and Amelia. I follow his gaze to see them practicing magic out in the field. Oh. Amelia waves her hand and sends a small flurry of ice across the grass. Ice? Who'd have thought that she has ice in her repertoire? The punk grins, hopping up and down with excitement.
Boy!
He bounces after it, making Leanna giggle. Her manipulator pulses blue, and a small gust of wind breathes out from the underneath him. It makes him hover above the ground.
Boy!
It's okay. I got you.
Leanna's breeze glides him along, above the grass, steady and strong. The punk's eyes light up. Leanna beams. She continues to push the punk along, gathering speed and momentum. She makes him soar across the grass and he lets out a loud squeak of delight. Amelia spirals more and more ice and snow, her magic trailing behind the pango and glittering like the tail of a shooting star. Gingelan sits down beside me.
When I first met you, I felt like I could sense some magic within you too.
I mean, I have a manipulator, so that would make sense, yeah. Gingelan studies me. His eyes seem to stare deep within me, as if trying to unmask my secrets. I shift underneath his gaze. Does he really know about me or something? No, I'm just being paranoid. Shaking the thought out of my head, I smile at Gingelan, who returns my grin. His eyes crinkle warmly as he smiles.
Admittedly, I'm curious to know more about you. Perhaps I could dedicate a whole verse about you and your adventures.
No. Don't do something like that about lowly me. A verse about me. He nods again, his smile bright and excited.
Where is it you hail from?
Oh boy. Huh? Asaria.
Yes, but where in Asaria?
Somewhere far away, small place. You wouldn't know it.
Try me. I am fairly well traveled.
Oh, boy. I rack my brain for the name of a city or place. Any name, any name. I'm from New York, the magical school of Hogwarts, the barren lands of Winterfell. I mean, we are supposed to say a city he wouldn't know, so, you know. Technically, probably all the options. The second one sucks. I don't like that. Serious. Or more like, I find it boring. I went to movie, the first movie. I fell asleep after 10 minutes. I slept through all of it. I don't fall asleep on movies. There are only two. One is HP, and the other one of the Polish movies based on a like school book that was so damn boring. And the Winterfell. I have not watched Game of Thrones, and I don't plan to really. Let's say New York. I mean, whatever. It's called New York. Damn it! That's not what I meant to say. Gingle and blink his surprise.
New York.
I mean, we were supposed to say something he wouldn't know, right? So. Yeah, like I said, small place, tiny town, smallest town ever. Not many people have heard of it. Giggle and nods, looking deep in thought.
What is New York like?
You know, people shop, go to work. Pretty boring and super normal.
How odd. I haven't heard of it.
Told ya. He fixes me with that some stare, and once again I feel the anxiety rise within me. Does he know I'm lying? Ginglin's smile falters, but he doesn't press me.
Did you leave to study at the Mage Academy?
Leanna taught me. I mean, well, kind of, not exactly. Leanna taught me everything I know.
Oh, are you training to be a Mage-Knight as well?
Kind of. I mean, she's been training me in both casting technique and sword fighting, so he knows.
I see. And how long have you been training with her?
16 episodes. How long have I been on Terra? It feels like years, but it couldn't have been more than a few months. Yeah, I said 16 episodes. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. For a little bit, I guess.
Well, you must have a very high aptitude for magic indeed.
My heart stops. I haven't cast it in front of him before. How does he know? What makes you say that?
Well, it takes a very skilled mage to be able to train into a Mage-Knight.
I laugh nervously. Right, of course.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
I'm being interrogated. Save me. Anyway, I look up to see Leanna standing behind me. She grins her hands on her hips, bits of her hair sparkling from Amelia's ice magic. Just chatting. I shoot to a stand, probably a little too fast, but I'm eager to get out of this conversation as quickly as possible. I'm feeling a bit tired, so I think I'm going to turn in early. Ginglen inclines his head.
Thanks for humoring this, old bard.
Yeah, I nod and shuffle over to the bedrolls. I see Leanna take my newly vacant seat. The pango bounces over to me, shimmering from the magic. Did you have a good time?
Boy.
He jumps up and down, mimicking flying. I saw that. You did fly! He jiggles happily and nestles in beside me. It isn't too long before I hear the others start to wind down for the night. Man, Pango is such a precious creature. I guess I really was more tired than I thought, because I soon fell asleep to the warm glow of the fire. Someone is shaking me. I groan and blink awake. Everything still looks fizzy. It's still dark out. What time is it? A blurry shape hovers over my face. I'm shaking again. Harder this time. What? I groan blink again, squinting. It takes a few minutes for my eyes to adjust. Emmy?
Yes. Good evening.
She doesn't move. Her face is blank but expectant. What's up?
I wish to be with you in private.
Say what? I have a girlfriend. You're too young. Heck yeah. No, third option, no. Is everything okay? Let's play it sort of safe. This is the first time Emmy has sought me out. Something must really be on her mind. Are you alright?
Yes. There's a matter I wish to discuss with you.
Okay, give me a second. I slipped out of my bedroll and stand beside her.
Please, come this way.
Okay. She turns on her heel with a twirl of her claw and leads me off to the side, far away from the camp and the rest of the group. So what is it?
I have been pondering the possibility for you casting without the use of a manipulator.
Oh?
I believe it may be because you've absorbed magic from the elementals directly. That reservoir of magic has been within you since the Fire Temple, and it merely has been a matter of unlocking your potential to cast from within to utilize the energy. The harrowing situation on the beach proved it to be possible for you to channel from within. After having ample time to think, I believe it will be simple for you to pull that energy again. If this is the case, then perhaps you are able to cast more than one element.
I mean, I was saying that from the very beginning, to be fair. I mean, not exactly that. I was just surprised he's able to cast wind despite getting the fire elemental first. Like, how does that work? Anyway, more than one. She nods.
Thus far, you have only manipulated wind energy. That would lead me to the conclusion that despite the energy you absorbed, you were only using wind energy.
Yeah, that's what we do.
If my theory is correct, I believe you may have untapped magic gathered inside of you, those of the other elements.
Okay, let's tap into that then.
It is only a matter of bringing that magic to the surface. Have you attempted to use another element before?
I shake my head. Yeah, for some reason, no, Leanna's just been teaching me wind magic. Then again, Leanna probably only uses wind as well, right? I don't think she has any other...
I see. Then allow me to show you how to use fire magic.
Then again, she's not a caster, right? Huh? What? Like right now? She nods and raises her hand. Flames blaze up and curly side of her palm. A red and orange light flickers across her face. Wow, that's awesome! Amelia doesn't smile, but I can see a spark of bright flicker behind her eyes. She closes her fist. The flames crackle between her fingers before flickering out with a poof of smoke.
Now, it is your turn.
Huh? Okay. How do I do it?
It is quite simple. Imagine the fire surging throughout your body. Imagine it blowing up your arm into your palm.
Fire
If
out of
done
arm.
correctly,
Palm.
small flame should appear.
Small flame. I nod and try to do as she says. I hold out my hand and close my eyes. My brows knit together in concentration. I picture flames coursing through my veins and out into my hand. A teasing warmth tingles down to the tips of my fingers, but nothing happens. I open my eyes, frowning. It isn't working. She crosses her arms.
This is a simple cast. Do not give up so easily.
I'm not giving up. Yeah, but maybe for me it's not simple. It took me some time to learn wind magic. She blinks.
Yes, but this is not wind magic.
What do you mean? Eh?
Perhaps we need a different approach.
Wait, is fire magic easier to learn or something like that? She pauses and taps her chin.
You mentioned that absorbing each individual elemental energy gave you a different sensation.
Yep.
Perhaps we should focus on the emotional response you felt.
Okay. Emotion. She nods. It's worth a try. Closing my eyes. I'm not able to read that way. I remember the fire elemental. I remember the courage and strength that rushed through me at a touch. The feeling gathers inside my chest, coiling like a hot band of scarlet. I reach out and latch onto it. A crackling, sparkling word bursts down my arm. I open my eyes. Red sparks fizz across my fingertips. A huge grin splits my face. Whoa! Amelia calmly nods.
Try snapping your fingers.
I do. A tiny flame hisses and crisps, expanding to a larger one. I'm so excited I almost start laughing. Sweet! She glances at the small flame and then nods.
Yes, good. Now, let's try this.
Wait, what? The tiny flame poofs out. There's more? Amelia blinks.
Of course. You have only succeeded in creating a basic fire spell. As such, there's still more work to be done.
Now that I think about it, I wonder how many elements Amelia can cast. We know fire, right? But also she can cast ice based on like that play she had before with Leanna and Pango. I wonder if there is more. She's a lot stricter than Leanna. I hadn't realized how encouraging it was to have a mentor who shared in the excitement of my accomplishments until now.
If my hypothesis is correct, you should be able to combine your wind magic along with your fire magic.
What? Casting at the same time?
Correct. It is the same as any other cast. Focus on channeling your energy through your hand again. If it is easier, perhaps it would be best to summon the wind magic first and add the fire afterwards.
Emmy waits for me to try, but I shake my head. Isn't this what mage casters do?
Yes.
And doesn't it take years of schooling to become a Mage-Caster student? Even more than it takes to become a full-fledged Mage-Knight.
That is also correct.
What makes you think I'll be able to do it with no training and a rudimentary understanding of single element casting?
Your ability for learning is already expedited when you consider the length of time it took you to learn how to cast at all. Understanding those timelines, it does not seem unlikely that you would be able to quickly acclimate to double element casting.
Okay, I'll give it a try then. Reluctantly, I extend my hand. Instantly, a cool wind pours from my palm. Amelia's pigtails flutter in a soft breeze.
Good. Now add the fire magic.
How?
The same way you would normally cast fire.
Okay. I seriously wonder if she's able to do that herself. I would assume she can. How am I supposed to feel that same strength with fire and the flick of freedom and weightlessness with wind? I mean, technically, I would say strength is freedom, so... Just like, you know, in sports, for example. I mean, I'm speaking of from example I would understand. Being good makes you feel free, basically, something like that. Anyway, searching within, I try to balance those two feelings and combine them into one. A moment later, that familiar tingling sensation memories down my arm. Heat sparks across my fingertips. Fire larger this time, blazes into turrets around my hand and wrist. I jolt back, expecting for it to burn, but it doesn't. The wind groans and whisks around the flames, fanning them larger and larger.
Stop.
Hammer time. I do. The fire and wind sputters out and the rest of my strength slips away. My knees buckle and I gasp, falling backwards against a tree. I slump to the ground like a deflated balloon.
Just as I expected.
What do you mean? You expected me to fall down? Amelia blinks when she notices me on the ground. I guess not.
Are you unwell?
I lean my head against the tree. I'll be okay. That was just a lot of energy.
I see.
She pauses, deep in thought.
Such a feat should have taken you significantly longer to learn.
She lifts her gaze back up to my face.
It might be easier for you to channel your energy because you have been absorbing magic directly from the elementals. Your progress seems to be accelerated because you are using energy stored directly from within you instead of a secondary source, such as a manipulator.
Okay. I know, trying to take all of this information in at once, but my body feels so drained. It's suddenly an effort to keep my eyes open or my limbs up. Amelia glances at me again.
That is enough practice for tonight. Perhaps it would behoove you to get some rest.
I let out a yawn. I'm pretty tired, yeah. And it's in the middle of the night. Her brows knit together in thought.
Although, if merely casting 2 simple spells in conjunction exhausts you to this degree, I do fear how including more elements will affect you.
This would suggest she can do more. What do you mean?
For you to successfully open a rift, you will have to engage all of the elements you have absorbed. To cast multiple elements at once may prove fatal if you experience such exhaustion from using just 2 elements in such a basic cast.
Uh-oh. My insides freeze. That's a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it? Amy shrugs.
Of course, this is merely speculation based on my observations.
Silence fills my head. It's an odd, pounding, fizzing pressure.
Perhaps you will be able to gain the strength to cast all of the elements simultaneously.
What do you mean?
The more you use magic, the more accustomed you become to it.
Yeah.
Just like muscles can be strengthened with stamina, your mind can be exercised in such a manner for casting.
How long will that take? She hesitates.
It is no mistake that as you lack the years of training many other casters undertake, you tire much faster than others.
It's like they are trying to make me into Mage-Knight caster.
At this
Anyway.
time, it is difficult for me to estimate that.
My heart sinks. This whole time I've been gathering energy from each of the temples to find a way home, but now there's a chance I won't even survive long enough to make it back. I fall silent. Amy watches me closely and grows uncomfortable with my disappointment.
As I mentioned before, this is purely speculation.
I nod, barely registering what she says. My head feels numb.
Given you are exhausted, it would benefit you to get some rest.
Technically that's what I've been doing until I was woken up, but whatever. Amy hesitates again, as if unsure what to do next.
Good night.
Night. So she goes to sleep and leaves me here. She turns on her heel and walks back to the camp, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I may actually never return home. My friends, family, I may never see them again. My brain vaguely reminds me that I should go to sleep, but my feet are rooted to the ground. There was always the possibility that I may not be able to open a rift and go home, but the hope was always there. It didn't feel like such a real possibility before. Yeah. I mean, if there is an option, you know, I will be saying that we are staying. Should I even bother trying to cast a rift if the consequences are literally deadly? Maybe I could be happy here on Terra. I think about my travel companions and the adventures we have together. We've only known each other for a short time, but I trust them completely. And you already have a girlfriend here as well, man. And Pango! How could we leave Pango? Plus, the thought of losing Leanna, okay, makes me feel empty. My world is so much fuller and brighter when I can see the way her eyes light up when she smiles. Or how she plays with her manipulator when she's nervous.
Can't sleep.
I spin around in the voice, and see Gingerlin leaning against a tree. Oh, you're up. He nods.
I heard a noise which woke me up.
Oh boy. I see. It was probably my casting. Or Amelia's casting. He peers at me in the dark.
Something on your mind?
No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Neither one of us moves.
Of course, how can I expect you to be honest with me when I haven't been fully honest with you?
I knew there was something suspicious about him, especially when he was asking all those questions. Tensing up by watching warily. Honest about what?
Truth is, I had an ulterior motive for joining your group. While I do still believe you'd all make for a fantastic story, I joined to get to know you specifically.
Huh? Why me?
I saw you at the beach.
The blood pounds in my ears. Maybe it's not what I think it is. So, we're all just there hanging out.
I saw you cast without using manipulation.
Oh boy.
Save that boy.
Oh boy. My heart hammers in my chest and I build my fist. He saw me and he sought me out. You must be mistaken. That's impossible. Gingalan holds out his hands as a gesture of peace.
Please don't take that the wrong way. What you did was absolutely amazing, and I just wanted to learn more about you, to understand how you did that. I apologize if I came off too strong earlier.
Are you going to tell anyone?
No. I understand what it's like to be different from the norm, and how it can be both something special and a burden.
I guess he's referring to that story of his. Slowly, I relax my fists.
I don't blame you for hiding who you truly are. Sometimes that's the safest thing you can do for yourself and others.
It sounds like he's talking from experience. I think back to the story he told earlier in the evening. Maybe there was a lot more truth to it than he let on. Thank you. He cracks a smile.
So, will you tell me where you're actually from now?
Well, I did actually. I'm really from New York. I freeze and he laughs at me and my bewildered look.
I'm just joking with you. If you ever do want to talk, maybe I can lend a little bit of insight. You don't get to my age without learning a thing or two.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. He nods, then stretches. There is something about Gingalan. Maybe it's because he's new to the party and doesn't really know me yet. Or maybe it's because I just really need someone to talk to. Or maybe he's also from another world. But something makes me want to share. The words stumble out of my mouth. Actually, there is something I'd like to ask you. He nods. So supposing you had a friend who was from somewhere else and the only way for him to go home is so dangerous there is a chance he wouldn't survive the journey, would you still encourage him to take that option? Gingalan raps his beard thoughtfully.
I would ask this friend what he means by home.
I blink. His friends, family, like entire life?
Do you think those people would want him to make a life or death decision just to return to them? Or would they feel better knowing he chose the path that would guarantee him a life he could live as he wished?
I never really thought about it like that. But then he'd be stuck in his new world forever? Gingalan shakes his head.
Life is a journey. There is no defined destination. And because of that, there are no right or wrong ways to travel along this journey. Perhaps one day, his journey will be safe. Or he may not want to go back. Perhaps another day, the choice will be made for him. Or he can choose between both.
I feel myself relax as he speaks. He's right, I shouldn't give up hope just yet because a challenge has been thrown my way. Thanks, that helps a lot.
Just remember that you have people who care about you and will support you in whatever you decide.
No, it's not me, it's a...
Hypothetical friend, yes.
Exactly. He winks at me, then stretches again.
Well, I think it's about time I try to get back to sleep.
Same here. It feels to me like Gingalan has experienced a lot more than the typical bard. Maybe he's also had to deal with some tough decisions in his life. Either way, he's pretty alright in my book. We head back to the rest of our party in silence. Only the gentle breathing of my friends can be heard over our footsteps. As I crawl back into my bedroll, I quickly drift off into a deep sleep. And end the episode right here. We'll see where exactly is this going if we can reach the next temple in the next episode or not. Maybe something other will happen. Maybe there will be some side tracking again. We'll see. For now, hope you enjoyed. Consider liking the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. That would be super appreciated. Do you guys think he will be able to like cast every single element? And maybe even multicast every single element? That would be crazy. And will he also tap into shadow magic? I wonder about that. Yeah, that would be interesting. Anywho, have I forgotten? There's also Twitch, the Instagram, Twitter, to which you can go if you want. But that's it. Hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.